Chapter 18. Punctuation. Punctuation is the name for marks used in writing. They help in understanding and reading correctly. These are some common punctuation marks used in English. Is a full stop. Is a comma. Is a question mark or query. Is an exclamation mark. Is an apostrophe. Is a quotation mark. Is a colon. Is a semicolon. Is an ellipsis. Is a hyphen. Is an n dash. Is an m dash. A full stop is used to end a sentence. The full stop plus a space separates sentences in prose and makes it easier to read. If they are not needed, they should not be used. So, for example, in a list format, it is obvious when a section ends. Therefore, it does not need a full stop. A full stop can show numbers that are smaller than 1. With money, a full stop is used to show the amount of money in decimal. Example, Zubin bought a cold drink for rupees 29.99. It means that Zubin paid almost 30 rupees for his drink. A full stop is sometimes used to show that a word has been made shorter. A word that is made shorter with a full stop is called an abbreviation. Example, the words doctor or mister are often made shorter when used with a name. Dr. Smith is the name of a doctor whose last name is Smith, and Mr. Banerjee and Mrs. Yang are common ways of writing. However, in modern typography, plain Mr., Mrs. or Miss or Doctor are more common. Mrs. is never written in full. To write mistress is to mean something quite different. A comma has many uses. Some of these are written or mentioned above. To separate things in a list: cows, horses, pigs, and sheep. A comma that is used before the word and in a list is called an Oxford comma. Some people do not use Oxford commas, cows, horses, pigs, and sheep, to separate two sentences with a conjunction. Example, most birds have separate toes, but ducks' feet are webbed. To separate parts of a sentence. Example, Mimi, hungry as she was shy to come forward and have a slice of cake. To indicate a pause in a sentence or a question. Example, Hallie, do you remember to feed the cat? Note, in some European countries, commas are used as the number point instead of a full stop. Instead of 3.57, it would be 3,57. In an inverse to that, 17,693, 17,000, etc. would be 17.693. A question mark looks like this. Question marks are used when writing a question, to make an inquiry, or to ask something. Examples, Hallie, how you done your homework? Elizabeth said, how are you? To Hannah. Why is the sky blue? An exclamation mark looks like this. An exclamation mark is used to write about a strong emotion or to write the words a person shouted. It can be used to make a statement stronger or more forceful. Examples, what a bad cat Mimi has. Johnny, come here. You did a good job. An exclamation mark can be used with a question mark to make a question more forceful. Example: What did you do that for? She said angrily. An apostrophe has two main uses. Ownership. An apostrophe can be used to show that something belongs to someone. If there is only one thing, the letter S is used after an apostrophe to show ownership. Examples: It was the boy's dog. We will go in Mimi's car. Sometimes the letter S is not used after an apostrophe to show ownership. A word will end with just an apostrophe if there is more than one thing and the word already ends with an S. Examples: Father put away the girls' clothes. It means that father had to tidy up for several girls. Father put away the girls' clothes. It means that father tidied up for only one girl. Contractions. An apostrophe can be used to put two small words together. Two small words that are put together with an apostrophe to make one word are called contractions. This is normal in writing about a person speaking. Spoken English often uses contractions because these words are easier to say. Examples: Cannot can be contracted to can't. It is can be contracted to its. For example, it's a nice day today. Common mistakes when using apostrophes. Pronouns do not use an apostrophe to show that something belongs to something, someone. Among these are its, his, hers, theirs. Examples: The bird flapped its wings. Correct. The bird flapped its wings. Incorrect. It is his bike. Correct. It is his bike. Incorrect. Plurals. Words referring to more than one thing do not need an apostrophe. Example: Apples for sale. Correct. Apples for sale. Incorrect. Quotation marks. Quotation marks, also called quote marks or quotes for short, are used around the words that people have said or direct speech. They are used in pairs. Examples: Jeevan said, Mohan, please wash the dishes. Today, said our teacher, is the first day of your school life. After recording Beat It, Michael Jackson went on to record several more hits. Order of punctuation. In all major forms of English, question marks, exclamation marks, semicolons, and any other punctuation are placed inside or outside the closing quotation mark depending on whether they are part of the quoted material. Did he say, Good morning, Dev? No, he said, Where are you, Dev? A colon looks like this. Colons can be used at the beginning of a list. Example: This is a list of animals: birds, cats, insects, pigs, and sheep. Colons can be used to replace a semicolon in between two parts of a sentence, but this is not common today. In standard English, usage only space is left after a colon, but no space is left before a colon. A semicolon looks like this. A semicolon has only two uses. First, to connect two independent clauses into a single sentence. Example: I could tell that it was getting late. It was growing darker by the second. The second use of a semicolon is to separate items in a series when the items contain parenthetical elements within themselves. Example: the following crew members were on the bridge: James T. Kirk, captain of the Enterprise; Mr. Spock, first science officer; Mr. Sulu, helmsman; Mr. Scott, engineer; and Dr. McCoy, chief medical officer. A semicolon is also used with a conjunctive adverb when joining two clauses. In reality, this is the same as the first rule, but it looks different enough to sometimes cause concern. Example: the environment is the context in which all life exists. Consequently, it is more than a political issue. An ellipsis is a mark that looks like this. It is used to show where words have been missed out when writing what a person said. It can also be used to show that there is more to be said, but the person stopped at a particular point. Example: one day all Indians will live peacefully throughout the world. They will be at peace with all other world's inhabitants. So much more could be said. A hyphen looks like this. Hyphens have many uses in writing. A hyphen is added to change the meaning of some words. For example, reform means start again, but reform means change. A reformed group is different from a reformed group. A hyphen is used to spell out some numbers: 32, 49, 86. When a name for a material such as stainless steel is used with a word for a thing made of that material, a hyphen is used, as in stainless steel knife. Some words have letters at the beginning or prefixes. These can sometimes use hyphens, as in un-American, anti-pollution, non-proliferation. When spelling out a word, Hyphen. In some cases, when putting two words together would be hard to understand. For example, if something is like a shell, writing it as shell-like is hard to read with so many uses of the letter I. It is better to use shell-like. When writing words that someone has spoken when that person has difficulty speaking, as in, I reached for the www watering can. This is called a stammer. When adding words that already have a hyphen, for example, 2 to 3 years old, as in, he was a 2 or 3 years old dog when I visited their place. If a word for a person, a name, or proper noun is used with another name, a hyphen is used, such as the Merriam-Webster dictionary or the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Some people take a name from the family names of both parents or from the last name of their father or husband. For example, John Rhys Williams. This is not always the case. For example, Hillary Rodham Clinton. A hyphen is also used when a word is too long to fit in one row of writing. This is often done in books, magazines, and newspapers to save space and paper. A long word is broken into two parts of nearly the same length with a hyphen at the end of the first part. The normal way is to make the first part of the word as much like a complete word as possible. For example, good, not so good. What was done was not good, not helpful, nor was it very useful. What was done was not good, not helpful, nor was it very useful.